What's up, guys? Here we are, reaction video. I just want to say I'm very excited. Shout out to Neste, Joe, Haja, Spencer, Dennis, Travis, everybody who was a part of this piece, this education piece. I'm so happy that a lot of people are talking about it. I mean, this video has reached over 250 million people on Facebook and YouTube combined. So education is such an important topic. If you care about poverty, race relations, climate change, then you better care about education. So without further ado, let's get into this reaction video. Fine Brothers, what's up? Albert Einstein once said, everybody's a genius.
I saw this.
But if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid.
That quote is written in my math class.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, today on trial we have modern day schooling. Tell me, school, are you proud of the things you've done?
Oh, I think I've seen one of this guy's videos before.
Turning millions of people into robots, do you find that fun? I call school to the stand and accuse him of killing creativity, individuality, and being intellectually abusive.
It's such a great message.
Here's a modern day phone.
That's the
Recognize
truth.
it? Here's a modern day phone. Recognize it? Here's a phone from 150 years ago. Big difference, right? Stay with me. Here's a car from today. And here's a car from 100.
But we still use the same books, right?
Still the same. Here's a classroom of today. And here's a class we use 150 years ago. Still the same.
Now
ain't that a shame? In literally more than a century, nothing has changed.
Yeah, nothing has changed.
Nobody ever brings that to light, you know? Just how school hasn't changed.
Do you prepare students for the future or the past?
Everyone can't just be put in these classrooms and expect them to all have the same results.
You were made to train people to work in factories, which explains why you put students in straight rows, nice and neat.
Tell them sit still, raise your hand if you
Yeah.
gotta speak, give them a short break to eat. And
It's like robots.
For 8 hours a day, tell them what to think.
Oh,
Make them compete to get an
that's,
A.
I've never thought of it like that. That's terrifying.
See, every scientist will tell you that no two brains are the same, and every parent with 2 or more children will confirm that claim.
Yes, that's my family.
Teachers should earn just as much as doctors, because a doctor can do heart surgery and save the life of a kid, but a great teacher can reach the heart of that kid. And
True.
Teachers do so much for the society,
Yes.
yet they're like the lowest paying job.
And if we can customize healthcare,
So much.
cars, and Facebook pages, then it is our duty to do the same for education, to upgrade and change and do.
He is like representing students.
No more Common Core. Instead, let's
Hated Common Core.
Yes, no more Common Core.
sure math is important, but no more than art or dance.
Yes. Art schools are good.
But countries like Finland are doing impressive things.
Right.
They have shorter school days. Teachers make a decent wage. Homework is non-existent, and they focus on collaboration instead of competition.
That is
But
true.
here's the kicker, boys and girls.
I completely support this.
Their educational system
Thank you.
outperforms every other country in the world. While students may be 20% of our population, they are 100% of our future. So let's
That's true.
He's right on a lot of this.
There's no telling what we can achieve. This is a world in which I believe. A world where fish are no longer forced to climb trees. I'll rest my case.
That was beautiful. That's very important. Education is a right, not a privilege.
There are a lot of people who are really smart, but their grades just don't tell the same story.
Some of the most successful people in our society weren't good students, didn't go to school. The people who we look up to and learn about in school, George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, these guys didn't even go to school.
There's just so much anxiety surrounding school now. It's more intense than ever.
I'm gonna go back to
Yeah.
my high school, and every single one of my teachers, I'm gonna put this on their front desk, and I'll be like, watch this. I'm gonna tell my little brother to come to school on Monday and see if it's any different.
So this video was made by the spoken word artist Prince EA, who makes content around issues to take a harder look at in society. So what do you think was the message he was trying to get across with this video?
I think he was trying to encourage students that kind of feel like failures at school.
Stop putting our children in like machines. Stop taking the creativity out of school.
Everyone's different in that we really need
Like
to
this guy.
push schools faster because we're really stuck in a really stupid place.
Although education is important, there are also other factors like arts and stuff that help mold students as far as creativity goes.
You expect to learn, you know, valuable information that's going to help prepare you for the real world, but you don't learn any of how to pay taxes, finding a job.
The education systems in most of America are not working and are not geared for the children of today. The same way they were taught 50, 60 years ago is still how it is today.
Traditional schooling is like, you go to school, you study, you get an A, and then that's it.
Well, it's you're right. The cycle is almost like bulimia, right? You go to school, you consume, they feed you this information, and then you throw it up on the test, and then you go on to the next subject. It's educational bulimia.
He was criticizing school and he was pointing the finger, not at teachers, not at schools individually, but at the system as a whole.
So being a teen yourself and someone who is currently enrolled in our schooling system, what do you think about your current education and if it is preparing you for your life as an adult?
I do not think it prepares us for our life as an adult. As soon as Common Core hit, it was like health was gone, sex ed was gone, which we really need now.
They are teaching us a lot of important things, obviously, but I don't know how to like pay bills and stuff, and like I need to know that.
All my classes, like, I'm not getting anything out of them, just to be honest. I'm sort of doing the work so I can get that piece of paper that says I graduated.
My school's project-based, so we learn about a topic and then we make a project off of it, and that's how we learn. It prepares us for life, my school, but it doesn't prepare us for college, and so a lot of kids struggle going from our high school to a college.
Where do you learn how to be on your own, you know? It's just like, do you expect us to learn on our own? Because there are a lot of stuff that we can't learn by ourselves, you know? And it's just like, and when you go to school, you can't find that in school either, because school just teaches you
what teaches you what to learn.
There's been recent thoughts around this area by a new customized learning initiative called ESA, or Education Savings Account. Is this something that you've heard of before?
No.
No, I haven't heard of education savings account.
So there's a program that is available in some states that if you can get access to it, it provides funding not just for college, but even earlier for things like private schools or individualized courses or programs for a child's education, almost like customizing parts of education. If something like this worked and was able to roll out in a larger way, what do you think the impact might be?
I think it'll help students more because I know a lot of people, they will be struggling in classes because they don't learn the same way the teacher teaches, but don't have the money to actually get tutors.
People might be happier. Courses will kind of be fit to them and their specific interests.
People who train the craft they want to train in will be like even more adequate. That's what I think. I think they would spend most of their time on that and not have to worry about other things they have to get good grades in.
It would make it much more personalized in a much better way, because the important thing is to talk to your child. They're not just this blank slate that you can push into exactly what happened to you. They have their own thoughts and opinions and feelings.
It still doesn't fix it. Money is really, it is an issue, but it's not the big issue. The big issue is just these principals and these people that make all the legislation are so anti-technology. Why can't you use your smartphone in school? As a college student, I honestly cannot live without my smartphone. I have all my lectures on it, I have all my slides on it, I take pictures of everything I need. It's better for both me and my teacher.
I think it makes sense. You know, a lot of teachers in class, they take the cell phones away from the kids. Don't be on your, let's put the curriculum or the lesson in the phone, where their attention is. You know, let's use technology and enhance learning through technology. It makes sense to me. And I've heard other teachers tell me that they want to do this, but you know, the way the school systems are structured, they can't.
So finally, we asked this through the adults when we covered another one of Prince EA's videos, so we'll ask you as well. What do you think is the impact of videos and art created by people like him that get shared on social media in this way is for these important issues, compared to when you hear it from, let's say, like a politician?
Sadly temporary. We're all going to talk about this for like 2 weeks, and then we're all just going to brush it aside.
Politicians and that sort of whole group, they just seem like a puppet to most of the country. Seeing these people like Prince EA or whatever, he just seems like, you know, he seems like a person. Like he's there and the way he talks, like it really gets to you.
It's coming from someone that's just like you. Like if someone has a camera, they have a voice in this media and they can say whatever they want and have their own opinion. And this person doesn't have like an agenda to push to help him run for an office. He's just trying to get a message across, and it's very, very pure and innocent.
Thanks for watching this episode of Teens
Wow,
React.
there
Let
you
us know
go.
what issue
There
you'd
you
like
go.
us to
Yeah,
react to and discuss in a
I-
future episode.
Bye, guys.
Bye,
A
everyone.
lot of people want me to run for president, run for office, but I always say, you know, the first thing I would do if I was president is resign. You know, it's for me, the message is about the individual, you know, individual responsibility and taking it upon ourselves. So now the question is, how do we fix it? I've read your comments and they say, oh, Prince EA, you have all these great big $10 words, but you never give us any solutions. How can we fix it? Right now, right here, right now, let's talk about how we fix it. And I have 4 ways on how we can fix the educational system, not only in this country, but in the world. Number 1, we have to look at education. Education comes from the Greek word educe, meaning to draw out, as in to draw the talent out of a person. School, on the other hand, is about putting more stuff in, putting more and more stuff in. So in that sense, education can get in the way of school. It's unfortunate when it's a big problem when the number 1 most asked question in classrooms is this gonna be on the test? That's not good. That's terrible. It is so important to look at the cognitive sciences and try to integrate that into the classrooms. Molecular biologist John Medina, he says that if you wanted to create an educational system that was directly opposed to what the brain was good at doing, then you would design a classroom, a modern day classroom. You know, if I told you that students should have less homework, they should wake up later, they should be able to take naps, small naps in between classes, people would call me crazy. But when you look at the cognitive science, when you look at it, you'll see that these things actually enhance learning. Number 2, we have to bring the joy back into the classroom. The brain works best when the person is happy. If a student is stressed out, if they're miserable, how do we expect them to learn efficiently? It's not gonna happen. So we have to bring the joy and the happiness and the fun back into the classroom. Number 3, we have to look at what's working. Countries like Finland, they're doing something, and we have to look at, okay, what are they doing differently? How are their scores and their students outperforming us by so much? What are they doing? Well, it's interesting, their whole paradigm is different. You know what the number 1 most sought after career in Finland is? Teaching. Teachers. You know, that Finland takes care of their teachers. Their teachers earn 2.5 times that of what American teachers earn. And they have more rigorous standards. You need a master's degree and experience teaching before you can become a teacher in Finland. Here, you don't need that. And lastly, we need a more individualized approach. See, every child has a gift inside of them. You know, a lot of people say, oh, I want my kid to go to a gifted school. There are gifted schools. Every child is gifted. It's about us trying to draw that gift out of them. You know, I always say, what if the cure for cancer exists in a child right now, sitting in the back of somebody's classroom, not being engaged, not motivated, not raising their hand. But the cure for cancer exists inside of them. And if that potential, if that idea was tapped into, they could save billions of lives. But right now, they're just fish being judged by how well they can climb a tree. All right, so last thing I want to tell you guys is this. These were some of the books that I used for research for my project of I Just Sued the School System. This one is called I Love Learning, I Hate School by Susan D. Bloom. This is an anthropology of college, amazing book. This one here is called Brain Rules, John Medina. This is a great book to not only help you understand yourself, but also a lot of teachers, I think, would find it useful in their class to use some of these techniques in their classroom. And this one, probably the most dangerous book of all, by this guy, John Taylor Gatto, An Underground History of American Education. Gatto was New York's Teacher of the Year. He is probably the most well-researched academic on the subject of school, where it comes from, the factory origins. But there's a lot more. I just hope that everybody does the research for themselves. That goes for teachers, principals, faculty, staff, and even students. Very important for us all to learn more and more about how we can change this educational system in this country and around the world. My name is Prince EA, and